right, y'all. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. The segment's being brought to you by Indeed. That's right. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. Unless you're hiring. That's right. Fortunately, Indeed has great tools to help speed up the hiring process. So visit Indeed.com/credit. Got your front page right here. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, everyone, and happy Thursday. I'm your girl, Eva Marcille, here with a quick look at your front page news. Officials in Columbus, Ohio, released more body cam video of the fatal police shooting of 16-year-old Micaiah Bryant, who had gone after two females with a knife. Now, the body cam video shows Bryant appearing to try to stab a young woman before she was shot by an officer about 15 seconds after arriving on the scene. The police chief said that if an officer is, quote, faced with someone employing deadly force, then deadly force can be the response. Meanwhile, one-day actor Derek Chauvin was convicted of murder and manslaughter in the death of George Floyd. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland announced that the Justice Department is opening an investigation of policing practices in Minneapolis. And last but certainly not least, President Biden is trying to get people to take this COVID vaccine. Yesterday, he announced a tax credit for small businesses who give paid leave for people who get vaccinated.
Just take the damn shot. Just take the shots.
I'm saying he encouraged the bigger companies, Ricky, to give their employees time off to get vaccinated. So President Biden is trying to do all he can do to certify these shots in Americans. I'm not mad at him.
We've been off. Been off a year.
Listen. Hey, I did my shot. I'm getting my second one on Saturday, and I must say I'm very proud because if my vaccination helps to save one person's life,
you're going to have 100%, what's the word? Oh, I can't think
immunity.
This morning. Yeah, because you already had antibodies.
I had the virus, yep.
Right.
And I still had active antibodies when I went to do my shot. So I was told I actually only needed the first dose because I already had antibodies. But I'm like Black Tony yesterday. I'm taking all the shots.
All of them.
That's what's going down in the front page news. For more, log on to the RickeySmileyMorningShow.com. Rock T, what's going on in sports?
Well, LeBron James explains why he deleted his tweet on the police shooting of 16-year-old Micaiah Bryant. The tweet said, "You're next," and the hashtag accountability. Now, he explained pretty much in a nutshell, anger does any of us any good, and that includes myself. Gathering all the facts and education does, though. My sympathy for her family, and may justice prevail. I'm so damn tired of seeing black people killed by police. I took the tweet down because it's being used to create more hate. In the meantime, Tampa Bay wide receiver Antonio Brown settles a civil dispute with a former trainer, Brittany Taylor, who accused him of sexual assault back in 2019. No terms have been released on the settlement or disclosed. We'll keep you posted on that. In the meantime, it's going down. Gary with the T, what you got there, Pippin?
All right, y'all. The crab couldn't claw his way to the next round. Now, the soulful shellfish, y'all, was eliminated last night on The Masked Singer. Did y'all watch it? Did anybody watch The Masked Singer besides me?
No.
Well, last night, y'all, Bobby Brown was eliminated. It was so sad. He was the crab, y'all. But he did he really did a good job, y'all. He said that he did the show because he and his kids and his wife, he said they watched the show religiously every week. And he said, I wanted to be a part of it because it was such a great show. He said the whole thing about the show is nobody knows who you are, and you get to wear these cool costumes and spend time amongst other entertainers that you might not know. He said, and it's about the secrecy of being a part of the show that drew his attention and stuff. And they asked him a lot of other questions. He said he has new music coming out. He's been working on a new album now for almost a year, and he said that's going to be coming out soon. And he said, but one thing he did learn about being on the show, he said he didn't realize he had claustrophobia. Because you are locked up in those costumes, honey, and they look like you could be claustrophobic in them. Cause once and you don't get out of them until you're eliminated. And those costumes seem very hot. And a lot of celebrities talked about the costumes, saying how hot it was and stuff, but they really love doing it. But Bobby also wanted to talk about his new music, and he talked about radio. He said radio is kind of strange these days. He said because they play most of the same music all the time. So he's looking forward to putting some new music out. Oh, yeah. That's what Bobby said, y'all. So it was a good show last night, and watching him perform, even though he was eliminated, was really nice. So, All right, the Kahlua today is one of my favorite scores. And, today, y'all, is Earth Day. So my Kahlua today has a nice earthy color. So the Kahlua today, y'all, is lime punch. On the high end, you say lime punch. And on the low end, you say beautiful, bright, neon green. That's your Kahlua for the day. Bryant, what you got coming up in the hot spot?
Coming up next in the hot spot, somebody got shot in Florida. And I'm going to tell you all about it up next. It's the Rickey Smiley Morning Show. The hot spot.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
So hot
and that's hot.
You can catch me at the hot spot. It's the BR18.
All right, Rickey Smiley Morning Show is the bottom of the hour. Time for the hot spot. What up, Brat?
What up, Ricky? Good morning, everybody. I'm your girl, Brat Tat Tat, and this is the hot spot where we bring you music, movies, and more. So let's get off into it. Pretty Ricky singer Baby Blue is in critical condition right now after he was shot outside of a bowling alley on Monday in Davie, Florida, during an attempted robbery. According to People, the Love and Hip Hop star and another victim were standing by their cars when two unknown armed male suspects approached. A fight broke out as the suspects attempted to steal a gold chain necklace from around one of the victim's neck. One of the suspects' firearms discharged, hitting Baby Blue in the left shoulder. He was transported to the local hospital where he remains in critical condition. The suspects fled the scene before the police arrived. So let's just hope they find those suspects. Meanwhile, the official memorial services for DMX have been announced. DMX's official Instagram page revealed that there will be 2 memorial services, one on Saturday, April 24th at 4 p.m. Eastern, and then a homegoing celebration on Sunday, April 25th at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. The public will be allowed to live stream both memorials. The Sunday homegoing celebration will also be broadcast live on BET, while Saturday's Celebration of Life memorial will be live streamed on DMX's YouTube channel. Only close friends and family will be allowed to attend the memorial services. As we all know, DMX passed away on April 9th, 2021 in New York, and he was 50 years old. All right, moving on. During an interview with Hip Hop Uncensored, David Banner said he believes that half of the whole industry stole the Migos style. He said, I watched the whole industry jack the Migos style and jack the way they were rapping. Then get on TV and act like they didn't rip those boys' whole style off. He continued, we can't say, hey, those folks dope, bro. Beats by the Pound did all of the original music for No Limit, and I personally think those boys should be on the same level as Timbaland and the Neptunes. Ooh, I mean, that's true. What y'all think? Everybody did start rapping like that. Everybody started rapping like that.
I'm a big fan of the Migos.
Me too. Then everybody else was too. So they started rapping. Yup. Everybody knew started rapping just like that. And that's when kind of rap lost its like originality for people like being different. For like the backpack rappers, like how Kanye and them used to rap all the time. Like everything changed. Everybody started going
Right.
Lord have mercy. All right, y'all. Last but not least, Kanye West's disclosure of his presidential campaign related finances have been rejected by the Office of Government Ethics. According to the Jasmine brand, the Office of Government Ethics, OGE, has not specified the reason behind its refusal to certify Kanye West's financial disclosures. However, the group called Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington has revealed that the denial is likely a result of Kanye failing to provide information on his soon-to-be ex-wife Kim Kardashian's assets. I hate when they do that, though. Like, they want you to throw everybody else under the bus. Like, I hate that. Just take what Kanye got to give you. But because he married to Kim, now he got to give her stuff up and include her in this situation. Well, he reportedly claimed to have no knowledge of Kim's assets or financial income information. I believe that. It is also speculated that he falsely claimed he was exempt from providing this information. Now, in a statement regarding the OGE's decision on the website reads, by refusing to certify it, OGE sends a message that it does not believe that West is in compliance with the law. Kanye spent $12 million on his presidential campaign. All right, y'all, we're going to wrap up the hot spot right there. Coming up next, we got Special K with the news that you absolutely positively cannot use. And why don't y'all hit us up for them wake-up calls, please, at 866-9-RICKEY. That's 1-866-9-RICKEY. The time now is 26 minutes before the top of the hour. It's the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
You liar! I believe him, yo. I don't know why, but I do.
All right, 12 up on the top of the hour, y'all. Special K got news you positively absolutely cannot use. What up, Kate?
Man, I'm so glad you sound like you're in a great mood this morning. I'm about to make you feel even better, man, because it's been a heavy week, man. We've been talking about heavy things, and sometimes we just need some good news, man. And everything is not all bad in Black America. Let me tell y'all something, man. Black folks are thriving in business, and this one business in particular, man, I don't even keep the news music playing. Dave, give me something happy, man, because this is uplifting. This is uplifting early on a Thursday morning. This is a good news Thursday, man.
Absolutely.
Let me tell y'all something. In the midst of so much negativity, guess what? The founders of the original Pigfoot Palace restaurant released a press release today that'll be coming out later. Loretta Devine, David, and Tamala Mann. Now, they did buy out Gabby Sidibe. She sold her stake in the company. She's still a minority owner, but she sold out her major stake because she wants to focus more on her entertainment and acting and all that. But they're excited to announce the reopening of 3 southern locations, man. Memphis, Charlotte, and Columbia, South Carolina. And listen to this. They got plans in the works for the first West Coast location in L.A., a West Hollywood store that's going to feature a Pigfoot sushi bar and vegan pig feet. This is, man, I didn't even know there was such a thing as vegan pig feet, but there is apparently. Now, you know they had some problems over the last few years. The flagship Jackson, Mississippi location had been closed since 2015 after a promotion where they had $1.99 all-you-can-eat pig feet, and a fight broke out, and an innocent bystander was temporarily paralyzed after being hit in the neck with a cluster of honey-glazed pigfoot skewers, but they survived that. Now, there was more drama after a Sweet 16 party got out of hand in the South Carolina location, and some teenagers started throwing cheese-dipped pig knuckle sliders at each other, and an innocent bystander was blinded by piping hot cheese. Now, that did end in a lawsuit, but, you know, they paid out some money, and, you know, so... Then a third lawsuit was filed in 2018 when the Mississippi location burned to the ground after a teenage kitchen worker mistakenly overheated a deep fryer when he was fixing a big batch of onion-battered breaded pig feet. And it caught fire. But during the downtime of the pandemic, guess what, man? They got a new partner as NBA legend Charles Barkley has decided that he wanted to buy in. And Bishop T.D. Jakes, of course, owns majority ownership in the company. So, man, I'm just happy when black folks are doing good, man. TV personality Roland Martin and Lonnie Love, both longtime customers, they recently reached out and purchased nearly 100 pounds.
Boy, Roland Martin gonna cuss you out, man.
Man, I'm telling you, man, Roland, this guy, man, Caribbean, he bought 100 pounds of Caribbean jerk pig feet to distribute to needy families down in Central America, Haiti, and the DR. Right. And the online business is thriving. They got sales of freeze-dried pig feet at an all-time high. They really did well during the pandemic. The big sellers across the South were the salt and vinegar flavored pig feet, the white cheddar coated.
Gary, what you got coming up next?
Okay, coming up next, some celebrities say, honey, they are not getting any pig feet. We're going to talk about that next.
Hold it. He's half man, half woman. It's Gary. I want to hip you to the T.
It's Gary, baby.
All right, Rick, around the morning show. Gary, what up?
Man. Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, America. Good morning to you. It's Thursday, a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and here's what's happening in celebrity news, and I am calling credit repair because I was pondering about my credit this morning. But all right, y'all, it's a sad day, y'all, for the Osbourne family. Y'all, we all know Sharon Osbourne. She was on The Talk, and she recently left The Talk or got fired from The Talk, because of the situation that went down with her and Cheryl Underwood or what have you. Well, now it's being reported that Sharon's beautiful daughter, y'all, Kelly Osbourne, they're saying that she revealed that she fell off the wagon, y'all, after being sober for 4 years. Now, they say this is a little hard, for her to talk about it, whatever, but she promised that she would let the world know if, she went through something, if she was going through something on her road back to recovery, that she would let the world know. But she's letting us know now, y'all, that she fell off the wagon. She was doing drugs and alcohol and what have you. But she said she's working on herself right now, because she's been an addict for years and what have you. And people are wondering, did she fall off the wagon because her mama and Cheryl Underwood had an argument and lost her job or what have you? Because, sometimes things trigger things in, in people and, but we hope that's not the situation, though. But nevertheless, I'm sure if Cheryl probably called her and, expressed her regards toward the situation toward Sharon. Because we love Sharon, Kelly Osbourne as well, too. So hopefully, everything goes well with her and she get back on the wagon and things go well for her. All right, moving on. In other celebrity news, y'all, Jennifer Lopez, we already knew this. I mean, it's so obvious, honey, that she ended her engagement with Alex Rodriguez. She said because she couldn't trust him. Of course you couldn't trust him. That's obvious. When he was talking to that doggone actress or whatever, talking about he was bored during COVID and he ain't had nothing else to do, so he would decide to Facebook her and carry on and stuff like that. So she said she had to let him go because there was no more trust, honey. She said the engagement had to end because there were too many issues that were unresolved, and that means she couldn't resolve that issue.
Women cheat too.
But women don't cheat as much as men do now, Ricky. You know that they don't.
Yes, they do, Gary.
No, they don't.
Who are the men cheating with?
I don't know who y'all cheating with, Kay.
Man over there.
If it ain't women, I'm just saying.
You answer that better.
No, I'm just
but
saying.
You cheating with women that don't have men. You was one over there with a woman.
Okay, but I'm saying, but women do it
what
too.
You saying?
They do cheat. Women do cheat.
They
cheat
it
because men make them cheat, honey. If a man would initially cheat on the woman, she wouldn't cheat. So you know, and
the guys who don't cheat be the main ones who get cheated on.
No.
Your girl laying over there tired, and all of a sudden in the middle of the night a queef and you ain't touched her.
That's being too much air out there.
Okay.
That ain't gas. That ain't gas. That ain't gas.
All right, baby.
A lot of air.
All right, yes it is, girl. All right, honey, that's cute, honey. How that girl got there?
I got that girl.
Your eyes open up in the night.
What was that? What the hell? Nah, baby, that was not gas.
Residual.
I'm sorry, Gary.
All right, baby.
Oh God. Oh,
yes, honey. And I ain't even into that, but that's cute. Yes, baby, for the queen.
Queen Laquifa.
Oh, you got to make that today.
What you call it, Gary? Queen Laquifa?
Oh, God. My chest hurt, honey. Oh, I'm going to just go ahead and get a color today, baby. All right, honey, it's Earth Day, y'all. So the color today is one of my favorite colors. My color today, y'all, is lime punch. On the line, on the high end, you say lime punch, and on the low, you say beautiful, bright.
Oh, man, I'm crying.
Baby, why you sound like an elephant?
It's too early for this.
Yes, honey. Oh, geez.
You know they're going to call us on the meeting after this.
Yeah.
And we ain't going to be able to, hold on, we ain't going to be able to keep a straight face. Oh, God. All right, y'all, time for the wake-up call. Hey, 23 minutes after the hour. Here we go.
Wake it up. Wake it up. Wake up. Wake up. It's time to get yourself together. Cause he woke you up this morning, slid you in your house shoes, so it would be better. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Encourage each other and be productive. The Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Wanna know where you calling from, so come on and tell us and just wake up.
Mabel from Anderson. I want to wake up all my family, my co-workers in Greenville, Thompson, Georgia, Newberry, McCormick. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
My kids, Khalil, Jeremiah, and Gabriel on their way to school. Just want to say good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
So I want to wake up all of my co-workers at RDI. It's time to go get that garbage. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Yes, this is Lemon Pepper. I'm looking for that moose knuckle. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Colin, I'd like to tell my daughter Tony to Jessica, get them kids up to school. Cincinnati, Ohio. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
On your radio. It's a whole gang of cities tuned in, locked in. What's yours? Cause we gon' let them know. We're in Miami. Wake up. Seattle. Wake up. And Detroit. Wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. St. Louis. Wake up. New Orleans. Wake up. And Memphis. Wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
All right, appreciate it, Brat.
You welcome,
This thing was being brought to you by. On the phone, we have two gentlemen we can always count on. And the George Floyd family has definitely counted on them during this journey to justice. Help me welcome civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump and the one and only Reverend Al Sharpton. We got them both on this morning. Hey, good morning, Reverend Al and Ben.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, man, and we're thanking God for a guilty verdict, but do you think that we can expect the maximum sentence? Because we want Derek Chauvin to be locked up for life, Ben. What do you think?
I think that he will get sentenced within the scoring guidelines. They're going to say he's never committed a crime before because he's a police officer, so they're going to try to score him like a first-time offender. So we want him to be treated, as Reverend Al say, like they treat us in our community, because we want equal justice under the law. We want this to be a precedent that black people in America can get full justice on the civil side and the criminal side, something most families that Reverend Al and I have worked with over the years never get in America. They say if you get the civil settlement, you can't get the criminal conviction. Well, why is it black people have to settle for partial justice? Why can't we get whole justice? And so that's the precedent, Rickey Smiley. George Floyd got whole justice, and we want everybody else from now on to get whole justice, full justice.
Listen, Reverend Al, either one of y'all can answer this question. The young lady that was killed, name is Marcille Bryant. She was shot in the chest 4 times by a police officer in Columbus, Ohio. And it's like, we all know that more needs to be done to change the system. What do we need to do to get the George Floyd Justice, in Policing Act passed?
That's why we need the law. And that's why we need federal law. We need the Senate to pass the law. Everyone listening, and all of Black America listens to Rickey Smiley show. Even I think President Biden must listen. That's why he's so sensitive. Anybody want to be informed and entertained, listen to Rickey Smiley. And you should call your senators or email them and tell them that you will determine your vote for or against them based on them voting for this George Floyd Justice in Policing Act. That's the only thing going to stop this federal law. And I just wanted to announce that Philonise Floyd, Little Al, has just come into the room, so he's with us here, Rickey Smiley. Say hi to Rickey Smiley Nation, Philonise.
How y'all doing out there?
Hey, good morning, man. Sorry for your loss, man, and we're excited about the verdict as well.
Hey, man, to me, this is victorious. I'm thinking about the accountability that these officers, they have to be held at a high standard now.
Philonise, what about the other officers? What do y'all, between you and Ben, do anybody know the charges and when did they try? Where we at with the officers that?
So these other 3 officers are facing the same charges. Now, I do believe that they're going to try to have some lesser charge than Derek Chauvin because they think that he was the most culpable. So they will probably get a lesser sentence and a lesser conviction, maybe on third-degree murder and manslaughter. But we will keep you informed, and Reverend Al and I, Philonise, we're going to stay on it, Rickey, night and day.
Man, Reverend Al, Ben Crump, thank y'all so much, and thank you for everything that you do and speaking up. And you just know you have a friend and a supporter over here, Reverend Al Sharpton and Ben Crump. I love y'all. Thank y'all.
We know that. Not about me, Rickey.
Hey, Philonise, come on now. You already know I love you. Come on now. Hey, man, I just appreciate y'all, and use us and use this platform to get messaging out and keep people involved in what's going on. We love you and appreciate you. It's Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Black Tony, what's up? You coming to work today?
Well, Shawty, look, it's like this. I'm coming when I get through, Shawty. I'm coming when I get through. You see all the cities I just named, everybody in Columbia asking about you, man. We getting people in Charleston. They're like, what's up with Black Tony? Idle City, boy. Idle City, you shout out. Hey, shout out to Idle City, boy. I look forward to all of y'all, enjoying me when I come to work. Because, Shawty, look. Here's the thing is, y'all pay me a paycheck to come to work, right?
Right.
But sometimes I get me a hustle, would pay me more money. So guess what? You come out on the short end of the stick. Like today, shawty, I got me a little hustle gonna pay me more money than my paycheck. I'm finna make about 20 bands today, shawty. So if you finna make 20 bands or go to work, what you gonna do, shawty? You gonna make them 20 bands? You feel me?
Bro.
So look, shawty. Ain't no shawty. Look, I need to get this money, shawty. We in a pandemic. Look, shawty.
He said
I'm finna be over by the Atlanta Zoo. I'm finna be by the zoo in the park.
Over there by Atlanta Zoo, on the way to the federal prison.
Yo, I got those ventilators, boy. I got a whole sprinter full. I got
ventilators, man. Don't nobody.
Well, I got 27 on, boy. You know, my cousin work at the hospital, shawty. I got 27 ventilators, shawty. And some
Who the hell need a ventilator, Black Tony?
Shawty, everybody ain't get them down shot, boy. Everybody ain't getting them shots. Somebody still gonna get sick. Look, shawty.
Yeah.
If you need a ventilator, come by in the park next to the zoo, shawty. Holler at your boy. Some on battery operate. Some on you got to plug in. Some on you can plug.
What you let them go for? What you let them go for? What they going for?
But $250 a piece.
For a ventilator?
Yeah, $250, but come with the hose and everything.
Come with the what?
The hose.
Hold it. Half man, half woman. It's Gary. I wanna hip you to the T.
It's Gary, baby.
All right, Rickey Smiley Morning Show, 8 minutes after the hour, y'all. The segment is being brought by My Computer Career. That's right, family. If you don't absolutely love what you do, make sure you go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today and become an information technology professional in as little as 4 months. That's mycomputercareer.edu. What up, Gary?
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning to you. It's Thursday, a beautiful, beautiful day in the neighborhood. And here's what's happening in celebrity news, y'all. Everybody's talking about the show Notorious Queens, honey. I think I may have glimpsed at it once or twice or whatever. But there's one of the cast on there, by a girl by the name of Miss Megan James from the Bad Girls Club, Miss Megan James. Well, Megan was talking about her dream man, and a lot of people are attacking this girl. She was only saying what she said was she wanted to be her dream man. And she said her dream man, honey, he needs to make, honey, he had said at least make $1 million a year, y'all. She said just a plain little $1 million, honey. That's all she said she wanted from her dream man. And some of the people attacking her saying, well, girl, how dare you want a man to make $1 million a year? You didn't even say nothing about his personality or his values. But doesn't personality and values come with him making that kind of money? Because no, anybody can't make that kind of money. So it look like he would have some kind of personality or values. So y'all think Brat or Eva?
It depends on what you do. The money does not make the personality. You could be a real nasty, mean, ugly, greedy person and have money. So yeah, I think that's a little bit important. Personality and the chemistry between somebody. Like if they make you feel good, if they make you happy, or you know, like that.
And you know
matters.
what they say, Gary? Money doesn't change a person. It just shows you who you really are. So, you know.
That's true. Yeah, but just give me the $1 million, honey. You can do whatever you want with it.
You don't care. You don't care, do you?
Nah, I don't care, baby. Just give me the $1 million, child.
Not one sentimental moment. Not one. We can't have one, Gary.
Well, but anyway, congratulations. Good luck to her, y'all, honey. And this girl, her $1 million, honey. Her $1 million man, y'all. All right, moving on. In other celebrity news, y'all, Miss Chrissy Teigen said Kim Kardashian tried her best, honey, to save her marriage. Now, she was on Watch What Happened Live, honey. She said that she's been in contact with Kim Kardashian since she filed for divorce. And she said, Kim is doing okay, honey. I know Kim gave her all for everything. It's honesty, honey. She said, it's honestly a shame that it didn't work out because I saw them being a forever relationship. She said, I really did. But I know she tried her best. And then when they asked her about her husband, John Legend, honey, and being in contact with Kanye, she said, honey, I would say I have definitely been in touch with Kim more than John has been in touch with Kanye. She added, if anyone knows Kanye, is that he goes off the grid, honey, and it's hard to even contact him. She need to shut up. Because I'm so sick of Chrissy Teigen, honey. She always talk. Now first of all, she said she had got off of social media. Now she hiding back. She back on social media.
She said she couldn't live without it. That was her. That was her release. That was how she communicated with people. She missed it, so she got back on.
Yeah, but she made her return.
Yeah, she made her return. But that goes to show what kind of man John Legend is to marry her. She ain't doing nothing. She ain't got nothing to do but get on social media.
She's a mother.
Chrissy Teigen is a very well-known model. Sports Illustrated, which most models never do. She was very well known before she dated John Legend. Don't do that.
I didn't know. We didn't know.
Well,
We
obviously.
Well, I tell you
don't
what,
know a
when
lot of supermodels.
Well, when they named this girl, they put John Legend name in the center, so that means you got to be known by him. So there you go.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Yeah, that's true, child.
That's not true. She was just stating about him and Kanye's conversations that they haven't had because he
Get him straight, Gary.
Break it down, Brat. Break it down.
Who cares? All right, my final story. Y'all know what y'all think about this, honey. Michael B. Jordan say, honey, he went public with Lori Harvey. He's telling you why. He said he revealed that. He said, because I'm still private. He said, I want to protect that, but it's just like it was a moment of just wanting to put it out there and move on. He said, I'm extremely happy. He also said that I think when you get older, you feel more comfortable about the public nature of the business and that we're in. He said, so for me, it was a moment, too, I guess, to take ownership of that and then get back to work, unquote. Now, what you say?
Yeah, that's nice and all, but I'm just a firm believer that giving your relationship an opportunity to grow and develop roots where nobody can see. You can go and pull a plant up out of a flower pot, but you can't go and pull a tree out the ground. So when you give your relationship an opportunity to develop roots and grow, and then when you put the relationship out there, can't nobody come and snatch your relationship. I don't care what you say. You can't tell me nothing about her. Okay, she already told me that
Preach, Ricky.
that she was a freak back in the day, and I was a freak back in the day too, and this, that, and the other. Ain't nothing gonna separate us or whatever. And then that killed, so you give yourself an opportunity to have a great, wonderful, awesome, loving, secure relationship when y'all know each other and know everything about each other, and can't no man or woman come and tear you apart. Yeah, I don't want to meet your girlfriends. I don't want to meet your mama yet. I'm trying to get to know you and develop chemistry with you. So can't nobody make you feel insecure about about anything. So
lay the foundation.
Absolutely.
We're going to pray. I heard Kim Kardashian got her eyes out on it, but anyways, need to hear nor dare.
Got her eyes on
what? Michael.
Oh, don't even ask him, Ricky. Please don't even jump down that rabbit hole.
Don't.
Go ahead, Gary.
The color today, honey, is one of my favorite colors. My color today is Lime Punch. On the high end, you say Lime Punch, and on the low, you say beautiful, bright green. That's your color for today. And that's true, though, because you're solid then. Nobody can break it, honey. So.
The Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
It's the front page news. It's what's trending now.
Ladies and gentlemen, this man right here served on the Birmingham Police Force and has over 21 years of experience. And you know his face from my favorite hit TV show, The First 48. Please welcome Detective Chris Anderson. Hey, what up, Chris?
Good morning.
Man, thank you for joining us this morning, man. We got a whole lot this morning. We finna hit you with a lot of stuff, so I know you're ready. And right off the top, let's talk. We was having this argument among us, about the incident in Columbus, Ohio, where 16-year-old Michaela Bryant was killed by a police officer after she approached another female with a knife. In your opinion, could or should this situation have been handled differently?
Yeah, I think it definitely could have been handled differently. This case is so emotional with it just happening, man. Being a 15-year-old child, man, this is one of our future leaders in our community, and she's lost her life. But there were a lot of adults that I saw there through the video that this should have gone a completely different way. I think that the adults in this case should have intervened. She should have never been allowed outside. There were a lot of things that could have happened to prevent any of the shooting. Now, when it becomes to the shooting itself, I think there will be they will have a long haul of a road when it comes to charging the officer in this case, because he has a duty to protect another person from being killed. If he sees a woman approaching or a child approaching someone with a knife, he has a duty to protect that other person. But I just think that there should have been some interjection prior to this even escalating to the situation where he had to make a decision of shooting or not shooting.
Now, everybody's been talking about the George Floyd case. Now, Black and Blue has been trending on Twitter. Were you surprised at the amount of officers that came forward to testify in the Chauvin trial?
So was I surprised of the amount of officers that came forward and testified? Yes, I was. But there has been a lot of officers, myself included, and I know several officers that spoke out against George Floyd and his I'm sorry, not George Floyd, but Derek Chauvin and the way he murdered George Floyd. There have been a lot of police officers that have talked about how his tactics, the way that they happened, what happened, the situation itself. There have been a lot of people that have spoken out against it, but I was rather surprised of the amount of officers that testified, and I think that's going to be a trend going forward.
Go ahead, Eva.
Well, I wanted to go back to the shooting bias term that we're starting to hear a lot, and if that officer should have reacted differently. So from your perspective, why is it that white gunmen are more often able to be apprehended, but the same de-escalation tactics are not being used on black people, on children that might have a gun or not?
You know, Eve, I think that's honestly just the disconnect between our cultures. If we're constantly portrayed as a violent group of people and you have a person that's working in law enforcement that doesn't really understand the culture, then sometimes they'll respond incorrectly. And that's not right. It's not right at all. And I'm not trying to make excuses for it. But I think the issue that we need to resolve is a lot more bias training in law enforcement. We need that. It's absolutely necessary and imperative. Every time we train with law enforcement, most law enforcement agencies train once or twice a year in firearms, and maybe they'll have one quick reading of a bias procedure during roll call. That's not right. We should have a lot more bias training. We should be doing 8 hours of training, understanding of the cultures, understanding of the biases that exist in law enforcement, and putting to the test what can be done in order for us to not see this happen ever again.
Hey, go ahead.
I wasn't ready. Well, the officer now in this Adam Toledo shooting up in Chicago.
Oh my God.
Right.
My mic wasn't up. He'd only been on the force for like 5 years, right? Now he already has 3 misconduct complaints in a short time. So, Chris, why is it that, the officers who end up as shooters often have these long histories of misconduct, but they still on the force?
I don't understand that either. I think that has more to do with the agency. But I think that's why there's been a huge push as of late for this national registry for resignations in law enforcement and the complaints that have come about to different officers. I think that is one of the areas that we need to really, really focus on moving forward. We need a national registry. We need to know if this law enforcement officer who has acted on the fringe of the law or acted outside of the lines of the law, if he has been fired from another department. That's imperative. Right. And also, I also think that we need more deeper psychological testing, because look, a lot of guys that go into law enforcement, they have psychological issues. It could have come from life itself, or it could have come from experiences. But we PTSD, do need more deeper psychological testing.
Hey, I wanted to ask you this. Brad and I, we was having a debate. Brad felt like that. What were you saying, Brad? That the officers could have pulled up and shot her. Go ahead, Brad.
Yeah, I was saying, was it possible for him to just shoot her in the leg or the foot or the bottom or anything besides her chest? I mean, they're saying they're trained to shoot their chest, but 4 times, like anything to stop.
Or a taser. A taser.
I think the taser was too far away. But go ahead, detective.
So yeah, when these situations happen so quickly, you only have enough time to react, and you usually react in the way that you're trained. Law enforcement officers are not trained. We're not trained to wound a threat. You are trained to stop a threat, and asking a law enforcement officer to bring a taser to against a person that has a knife is just that's a little. It's hard to fathom that you have to protect yourself and that person that you are. In that situation, you have to protect yourself and the person that she was stabbing. You have a duty to do that. So, asking them to I would suggest, this is what I think y'all should do. I mean, if you really want to know, there are a lot of law enforcement agencies that are more than willing to put you through some shoot or no shoot training. And if you've seen it, it really helps to understand how fast these situations happen. They happen extremely, extremely fast, and you have to make a judgment. So you really don't have time to think. So I would suggest that if you have questions about whether or not a person should have shot in the leg or something to that effect, I would suggest you go out and try to see if your agency, your local agency, offers some sort of shoot or no shoot training.
Hey, Detective Anderson,
how hard it is.
Detective Anderson, I got to ask you this. Speak to me, because you and I, we real close. We talk all the time. But I want you to speak, give some understanding, because there's a lot of people out there that absolutely black officers and white officers, just because they're the police. Some of the things that the black police officers, have to deal with, because it's just a thing. Because there's a lot of police officers that do good community service. Because we go out and do the Christmas thing every year with the Birmingham Police Department and stuff, and I see guys getting up out of their bed, coming out here to help and do service. With some of the stuff that the black officers have to deal with the vibe just being bad with police officers. There's really, trying to do a good job and trying to protect and serve.
Yeah. So, look, I've been a law enforcement officer now, man. I've been in law enforcement for 26 years, man. I've been around law enforcement my entire life because my mom was a police officer. So here's the thing that I see, and it has been rough. It has been extremely rough for black men in law enforcement. So, but we have to do more. We have to do more. We can no longer sit around and watch as our people, because we're black people first. We are people of color first. And that's never going to change. I can retire from 10 different departments, and that will never change. I'm going to always be a black man. But we have to do more in our profession in order to call out misconduct in departments. We have to. We can no longer sit on the sidelines because our children are being murdered.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen.
I'm sorry. But you know how passionate I am about this.
Oh, yeah.
You know how passionate I am about it. But I just want to see us do better. So to all of the African Americans, to all of the people of color that are in law enforcement, we have to do more because it has to stop.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, hey, Chris, thank you, bro. Hey, Chris, and thank you to you and all of the police officers all over the country that's really out here trying to serve the community and protect and serve. And don't nobody else say thank you. We appreciate what you do. We really do. And some of the bad cops just make it so bad for the good cops that's out here trying to really do a good job and trying to protect and serve, man. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Hey, Detective Anderson, how can people follow you?
Listen, you can follow me on all social media up under Detective Chris Anderson. I'm on all platforms, and I do a lot more. I talk a lot more about police conduct and the things that we can do as a society in order to bring us closer together. Rick, I want to thank you for inviting me. I thank everybody else on the show for everything that y'all are doing for this community and for us as a nation, because we need a lot more healing.
There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, Detective Chris Anderson, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. All right, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Hey, it is about that time. Jeff Johnson got 3 things you need to know. There's a lot going on. I know you're ready, Jeff.
Man, I don't even know if I am. There's so much going on. But let me start here. I mean, many of us are aware Man, that Ma'Khia Bryant in Columbus, Ohio, there's just so much conversation around this one, Rick, and I'm disturbed by a lot of the conversation because I recognize that this whole notion of her attacking a woman who was attacking her at her home seems to create a level of confusion around, what is the justifiable use of force in this case. And at the same time we're considering this, we also know that there is another young man right now who was suspected of killing 10 people at a grocery store who's actually in jail facing 43 charges because nobody felt it was necessary to kill him. And so, Rick, I'm in a place now. I remember doing some work with a chief in a city that was dealing with a dissent decree. And he said to me on the record, he said that 75% of use of deadly force cases are normally a result of bad tactics. And that in large cases is what I feel in this situation. Sure, there was a knife. Sure, there was the threat of violence. But if you're an officer, your job is still to assess the scene before you decide what violence needs to be used, what force, needs to be used. And I think in this case, I don't know if any officer could justifiably say that this officer had the ability to assess the scene before using force. And some would say that it was because there was imminent danger to another young woman. Some would say that it was because of a knife. But I still don't believe that the training that police officers gets puts them in a position to be able to use force without assessing the scene. And I don't think that any of us could say that this officer assessed the scene. And this is gonna be, one, an ongoing policy issue, and two, it's gonna be a real question of how officers are trained moving forward. And so as we set for Daunte Wright's funeral tomorrow in Minneapolis, we're waiting for what the sentencing is going to be of Chauvin around the death of George Floyd. We also are getting word, Rick, that Governor Mike DeWine in Ohio announced yesterday that, similar to what happened in Maryland 2 weeks ago, that he's announcing a reform bill that they said is going to come out within a few days. And that bill is supposed to include new training for de-escalation and use of force, a statewide use of force incident database. I know that was a large part of what Bakari was talking about yesterday when he was on the air. An officer discipline database and a requirement for independent investigation of officers involved in critical incidents. Some of these things exist to a degree, but often not in state law. And what's interesting, Rick, is there was a lot of celebration about the conviction of Chauvin, and there wasn't a whole lot of buzz around the bill that Maryland passed. And the passage of that Maryland law, Rick, sets greater precedent around the law than did the conviction of one officer. And so I was relieved to see that Chauvin was convicted. I was excited to see that there was a law in Maryland that repealed the longest standing Bill of Rights for law enforcement, really was sweeping action to address police violence, and set a legal and policy precedent that we haven't seen in any other state, as we're waiting to see what happens with this bill, the George Floyd bill at the federal level. So there's a hell of a lot of work that needs to be done, Rick. And so my hope is that this Ohio piece of legislation goes through the House, that there is more movement on the George Floyd bill in the Congress and the Senate. But if those things don't get passed, Rick, and we're relying on case by case, we still don't reform policing in a way that is not only meaningful but systemic, and in a way to hold law enforcement, police departments, and even municipal government accountable. So we'll see what happens in Columbus, brother, but around this baby's case. But what would be more powerful is making sure that this piece of legislation goes through the Ohio House.
Right.
So those are three things I got for you, brother.
I appreciate it, Jeff. Y'all hit Jeff up at Jeff Nation, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hey, Jeff, appreciate you, Jeff.
Appreciate you, brother.
Oh, man, Rickey Smiley Morning Show, 6 minutes after the hour. Rock T, how cool were you when this came out?
Man, let me tell you something, man. This is one of my favorite New Edition dance routines out of all they dance routines. I had to sit there and learn that bad boy. Matter of fact, I taught my daughter Harmony, and she know how to do the routine, man.
Did y'all make a video?
It's all.
Even take me back.
Exactly what Rock said. This was that song that if you were at the barbecue or the family function and you had a hot link in your hand and this song came on, you dropped that hot link and got in line and you tried a hot link. Y'all didn't eat hot links? Hot links with barbecue sauce and some mustard on it.
Yeah, the red sauce.
The red hot link, the good hot link.
Yeah, that was hot. Even we ate hot
I'm
links.
from LA. We had a sausage guy. So he used to make all the hot links. You get chicken hot links.
Just the way you said we had a hot link in your hand.
Because you were standing in line, Ricky, at the grill. Waiting for the hot links to come out.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
You had a hot link. Girl, you had a hot link, girl, on a piece of bread. Yes, ma'am.
I did.
I ain't mad at you.
Lord, what did I just do?
Yo, Lord. Well, this song make me miss videos.
It might be the most iconic New Edition song.
This song make me miss videos. I love when it stopped and they say, we're going for the ride on the mopeds.
Oh, wait a minute. Who all had a moped? We couldn't afford one.
You couldn't either.
I had a go-kart. I had a go-kart. I damn sure had a go-kart.
Raffle.
My grandma bought my go-kart from Western Auto.
I remember Western Auto.
Y'all remember Western Auto?
Yes, baby.
Oh, yeah.
It's Western Auto, honey.
Boy, I got to my granddaddy's house and saw that damn go-kart sitting up in the living room. I could not believe my eyes, boy. But that New Edition song, that came out in the 90s. I remember the girl I used to like, man, this chick that worked at Kmart, she was fine, so I would use my niece to go in there because my niece was, my niece real cute. And go, I would use her so you walk around with a pretty baby. Portia had them little green eyes or whatever. And then the girls be like, "That baby, that's your baby?" Like, no, that's my niece. They're like, she's so cute. And, I used to use Portia to pull. You know what I'm saying? And I dated that girl, and, man, she cheated on me. She was no good.
Man.
Wasn't no good, man. I remember using the payphone at the Waffle House. Kept calling her house, man. And then you lose a quarter if the answer machine come on.
Right. You trying to hang up?
Yeah, you be trying to hang up. You have to keep putting the quarter back in that column of the bank. Man, I wish we'd have had cell phones back then, man. But that's one of the most. You're right, Special K. That's one of the most iconic New Edition songs ever. And I was Team Bobby Brown all the way. Pushed my way to the front like the woman with the issue of blood. Just to get close where I could just get Bobby Brown just to shake my hand. Me and my cousin Selwyn, we went to Fair Park and we pushed our way all the way to the front, man, when New Edition came out, man. That was just most wonderful experience ever. One of the most wonderful experience ever, man. So, all right, y'all, more Rickey Smiley Morning Show coming up. All right, y'all, Rickey Smiley Morning Show, 26 minutes after the hour, y'all. This segment is being brought to you by Indeed. That's right, when you're hiring, there's no luxury of time. So instead of waiting for people to see your sponsored post, invite them to apply. More at Indeed.com/credit. Eva, good morning.
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, everyone, and happy Thursday. I'm your girl, Eva Marcille, here with a quick look at your front page news. Officials in Columbus, Ohio, released more body cam video of the fatal police shooting of 16-year-old Micaiah Bryant, who had gone after two females with a knife. Now, the video shows Bryant appearing to try to stab a woman before she was shot by the officer 4 times in the chest. Many are asking why lethal force had to be used. The police chief said that if an officer is, quote, faced with someone employing deadly force, then deadly force can be the response. Now, the governor of Yes, sir.
I thought about when we was debating off the air and just listening at what you and Brat was saying. I'm kind of like more leaning with y'all, because I'm sitting up here and I think somebody posted a picture of that white kid up in Wisconsin walking down the street with that rifle after he shot and killed 2 people, and the police, took him and apprehended him and other folks. So I definitely understand what you're saying, because, that's a situation. But with the, how do I put this into context? Proper.
White cops typically respond differently to black citizens overall, but each individual
and there's bias
situation,
when it comes to disarming the white offenders over black offenders, and it's one of those things where police reform and de-escalation training is absolutely necessary, because if you as an officer are not there to de-escalate, then why are you there?
Right. Just one shot, Rick. Just one shot, maybe. One shot might not have killed this lady.
And there's an argument
because
for
sometimes
that.
you can get, you be on social media and you can get caught up in the argument when people are freezing the picture of the knife or whatever,
right?
And then you completely forget about the point that you and Eva was making. Because the more I sat here and started reading comments and thinking about what y'all was saying, I'm like,
think about her mental health state, Ricky. She's a 15, 16-year-old girl who was a ward of the state. She's a foster care student, and she called the police because people were threatening her. So now you get to the scene of the crime where she's actually now defending herself, and now she's dead.
That's true,
crazy.
but the police officer didn't know that, though, Eva.
But didn't take time to find out either. It took 15 seconds.
But it wasn't no time. But he could have just shot one time. I understand the training. I'm trying to take all of that into consideration. But 4 shots, okay, if all you trying to do is shoot somebody real quick in the upper chest area, just shoot one time. It would have stopped these girls. Maybe she wouldn't be dead.
It just seems like whenever white cops have interactions with black people, things are more likely to just go bad.
Fatal.
Yeah, and then from what I'm hearing, and I could be wrong, that they're charging the girl who had the pink on with the murder.
What?
Wow.
Huh?
Yeah, because I'm now this is what I'm understanding, that she came over and was attacking the girl with the knife and put the girl in the position to even have to defend herself.
Exactly.
So they're charging her with the murder, from what I understand.
The police need to be charged with the murder.
Now that's a stretch. Well, they're not going to charge the cop in that situation. That ain't.
But really quickly, speaking about what's going on in Ohio, the governor of Ohio, Mike DeWine, announced a reform bill, Ricky, with more de-escalation training for police officers. So this apparently is a part of several police reform efforts happening nationwide in the wake of the murder of George Floyd. The U.S. Attorney General also announced that the Justice Department is opening an investigation of policing practices in Minneapolis where George Floyd was killed. And last but not least, I'm going to skip some of the news, but we have to take a moment today and pray for the family of 20-year-old Dante Wright. That was the young man, black man, killed by the police in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. His funeral is today. All right, that was a quick look at our front page news. For more on what we're talking about, log on to the RickeySmileyMorningShow.com. Rock T, what's going on in sports?
Well, LeBron James explains why he deleted his tweet on the police shooting of 16-year-old Ma'Khia Bryant. The tweet said, "You're next," and it had a picture of the police officer and then the hashtag accountability. His explanation in a nutshell, pretty much, anger does any of us any good. That includes myself. Gathering all the facts and education does, though. My sympathy for her family, and may justice prevail. I'm so damn tired of seeing black people killed by police. I took the tweet down because it's being used to create more hate. So they was dragging LeBron about this, man. So it is what it is, man. Last but not least, real quick, Floyd Money Mayweather may be back in the ring June the 6th in Miami. His opponent, YouTube star Logan Paul. It could be an exhibition fight. So what that means is it will not go against Floyd Money Mayweather's professional 50-0 record if he was to get beat. But will he get beat? Absolutely not. It's not going to happen. But expect to possibly see Money Mayweather back in the ring June 6th in Miami. That's what I got for sports. The Brat got the hot spot right now.
The hot spot.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
So hot and that's hot. You can catch me at the hot spot. It's the BRAT.
All right, 28 before the top of the hour, y'all. The Kings of Crunk is going to be on the Tom Joyner Foundation Fantastic Voyage selling November the 6th through the 14th, featuring Bone Crusher, East Side Boys, Young Blood, Shop Boys, them franchise boys, DJ and the Yin Yang Twins in Trillville singing What It Is, though. What's up? All right, y'all need to call 214-49, right, 214-495-1963 for details, or go to blackamericaweb.com. All right, Brat, what up?
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, everybody. I'm your girl, Brat Tat Tat, and this is the Hot Spot where we bring you music, movies, and more. Now, you've been hearing us talk about the new voting laws in Georgia and how the movie industry reacted with several films being pulled from the state. Now, Tyler Perry said, I'm resting my hope in the DOJ taking a hard look at this unconstitutional voter suppression law that harkens to the Jim Crow era. Well, yesterday on Twitter, Stacey Abrams was trending after standing up to a Louisiana Republican Senator, John Kennedy, when he inquired about Stacey's objections. He said, tell me specifically, just give me a list of the provisions that you objected. And without a beat, our girl Stacey Abrams began naming them off. She said limitations on absentee ballot requests, a shortened federal runoff period from 9 weeks to 4 weeks, requirements of having and surrendering a photo ID to complete an absentee ballot, limitations on drop box availability, bans on out of precinct votes, and limitations of our voting hours. Now, despite her asking, telling him about the list, he said things like, what else? And again, he said, is that everything? You know, he was real funny and sarcastic about it, like he was just really trying to play her. But she stood her ground, and we appreciate her for that. Now, ultimately,
she know her stuff.
Exactly.
You talking to somebody about something that she know about. She know about this stuff. And then you trying to trip her up in words and stuff or whatever, and made himself look bad.
Yep, and she wasn't having it. So kudos to her always for supporting us and representing well. Last but not least, y'all, LeVar Burton is going to guest host Jeopardy. Now, after months of campaigning, he's finally been chosen to guest host Jeopardy. It was confirmed Wednesday that him and anchor commentator George Stephanopoulos, broadcaster Robin Roberts, and David Faber of Sportscaster, Joe Buck is his name from his Sportscaster, and he will be behind the podium for the final episodes of season 37. Now, I think LeVar Burton is going to do a good job at this.
I already see the internet.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Of course he's going to do a good job. Right now. But by the time the internet had him standing up there dressed up as Kunta Kinte, standing up there asking them questions, that ain't going to be good at all.
It's going to be very disrespectful.
You already
know how they're going to have him stand up there, and they're going to have him stand up there with Kizzy. Him and Kizzy stand up there. Gary.
Yes, Lord. And we love LeVar Burton.
It's being put together right now.
And what's his other show he does? He did something.
Star Trek.
Reading Rainbow.
And then after Trek. Wait a minute. And then after 5 years, it's going to be John Amos.
What's up?
I really want to have a heavy conversation this morning talking about, let me find it on my computer here, the shooting that happened in up in Columbus, Ohio, which is really sad. We had a conversation about it on the air. We want to thank Detective Chris Anderson for joining us this morning on the morning show. We want to talk about this, the incident in Columbus, Ohio. A 16-year-old, Marcille Bryant, was killed by a police officer after she approached another female with a knife. And that's what I want to talk about this morning. I want to know what your thoughts are because, I was sitting up 3 o'clock in the morning and I was on Facebook and I was watching, a lot of different comments about this particular shooting. And people was framing the girl with the knife in her hand, getting ready to stab the other girl. And then some of the questions came out like, well, number one, not me. Number one, what should the police have done? What was he supposed to do? Did the police keep the other girl from getting stabbed? And and saved her life? Was he overly aggressive or whatever? Because now the conversation is, and we start having that conversation, and it'll make you think that for a second. And then you start thinking about, well, damn, the white dude up in Wisconsin had a damn, whatever kind of shot machine gun he had. He killed 2 people. And then you got Dylan Roof and all these other white people that was taken. And then this mass shooter that just did a mass shooting. And all of these guys are apprehended without being murdered. Then why is it that when it comes to black and brown people that the patience, is so short with police officers, and they go ahead and and pull the trigger, and all these videos out now with Caucasian Americans driving off in trucks, shooting the police officers, and one of my frat brothers texted me and said, "I'm listening to your conversation about the killing of the 16-year-old black girl, and just to give you a little additional context, last week after trying to walk out of a grocery store without paying and assaulting a grocery store employee, a white man assaulted a police officer with a hammer and then drove off with the officer pinned in the door of his car. And the cops used no force at all to subdue this guy when they caught him. No force at all." Thank you, Brother Hines, for that text message. I want to know what your thoughts are. And Brooke said that she was defending herself. Absolutely should not have happened. They should have made an effort to defuse the situation. And she called them for help. And it's so sad that this young lady lost her life. That was from Brooke. And Journey said, "Good morning. The girl the police shot did not have to do that. That's their just go-to." That's a good point. I want to know what your thoughts. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about all of this stuff, man. And thank y'all for listening to the morning show. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great day. Peace.